Mekai. Okay. So is it properly streaming though? Mekai. You gotta mute that. Okay. It's gonna start causing problems. Alright. Alright, we got sound now. Sorry about that. We start over. Day 23 of learning to read Chinese. Cultural landmarks. Places in the world outside of China. Starting with France. Fan. Fan, which means all or altogether, or outline. It could also refer to ordinary, mediocre, everyday things of this mortal world. R was used in the old times, is like an old-timey way. Saying you or your or that or this. This isn't really used for that anymore. Nowadays we mostly just use it in names of things. Transliterations for the sound. And in this context, that is how it is being used. Set is a match, competition, exceed, surpass, or be as good as. And gong is a house, court, palace, temple, or womb. So, in this case, we're talking about the court, the palace, the grounds of Versailles, Versailles, in France. Next up, Jing. Jing, which means gold or metal in general or money, but specifically gold. And zi. Zi is letter, character, or word. In Chinese, we use zi for characters, like each one of these units. But when we talk about other languages, like in English, zi would be a word. Because the divisions of meaning units are different. Ta. Ta is a tower, specifically originally referring to the Buddhist pagodas. If you could see like pictures of those. These things with the sides. I think they're like 8-sided. And they got the little pointy roofs on each level. So specifically, this type of tower, Asian tiered tower with multiple eaves, but also just towers in general. Like the Space Needle is called 太空针塔. There you go. The Space Needle Tower. 状. 状 is the form, shape, state, or condition of something. It could refer to a certificate or the looks or manners relating to this state, condition. It can also mean to describe or depict. So that would be together with 形, 形状 is used to describe. Let me shut that door. Xingzhuang would be the form and shape of a thing. So 金字塔状. We're talking about the pyramids in Egypt, in Giza, which are kind of shaped like this character, I guess. Because it's got the big pointy on the top. 金字塔. Tai. Tai means peaceful or luxurious and great. Extreme? I'm sure this extreme should be in there. Yes, I suppose so. 太热. Okay. 鸡 refers to, I guess originally, or in ancient times, this referred to beauty. 鸡, this is also the word for a concubine, or a lady, professional female singer. Yeah, I don't think any of these are in particularly common use nowadays. 陵 is a high mound or a mausoleum, and 墓 is also referring to a grave or a tomb. So this 太极陵墓 is referring to the Taj Mahal. If you know anything about the Taj Mahal, it was a mausoleum built by the emperor for his concubine. So Taiji is referring to, well, it's the title of the woman, but you try to translate it in a way that kind of preserves the sound of the original word, but also carrying the meaning. Taiji, the Taj Mahal. Bi. This bi means that, the other, or another, the other part. Bi yu bi an. The other shore. 彼此 this is a common word. 彼此 is each other, or both parties. That's probably the most common word that this is used in. 彼此 得 means get, obtain, or gain. It also refers to what one has learned. 得 and it's got other readings. This is the form that's used as a... This is the one that goes after... My mind is blanking suddenly. It goes after verbs. When you're putting it goes between the verb and the adverb that modifies the verb. So the structure is a little different than it is in English because the order is different. So it's the verb first, and then this, the, and then the adverb is how that works. So like 跑得快 would be running quickly. Yeah, use the after verb. Then the other reading is 得, which means need, must, have to, or will be sure to. But here 彼得, this is the name, Peter. 彼得 教 means teach, instruct, give guidance. When you read it like this, though, I think usually referring to religion, education, or teaching material. Be like 教材. 宗教, religion. 教, when you read it, 教 is teach, instruct, or give guidance. So 教 for teach, the verb, and 教for teaching the contents of the instruction. 教. But this could also be like 教导. 教导 is kind of like giving someone a lecture or a talking to. 教科书 is textbooks. 教官 discipline. Those sorts of meanings. Here we're talking about religion. Because the next character is Tang, which is a hall or a room for a specific purpose. A court of law or other types of special purpose rooms. So 教堂 is a special purpose room or hall for religion. That is to say, a church. So this is St. Peter's Basilica. 彼得教堂. That one in Rome. Next up, 字. 字 is the self, private, personal, or from, like originating from. 有 is reason. 有 refers to reason or origin, like reason as in cause or motivation, origin because of, due to, or from. And 自由 is kind of like self motivation or self, like when you are your own reason for doing things, you determine your own destiny. 自由, that's independence or liberty. 女, this is woman or daughter. It's also one of the constellations, but this is the word for woman, and it looks like that because originally it was a abstract drawing of a woman. She's kneeling. Shen. This Shen is a god, deity, or spirit. Could also be a talent, like if you're saying like, oh, her skills are godly, that would be like, you could use that. Or magic charms, divine, clever, or smart. So 女神, this is the Lady Liberty, 自由女神, the Statue of Liberty. Because she's like a spiritual embodiment of the concept of liberty. She means rare, scarce, or sparse, or very. La is a 12th month of the lunar year, at which time there were made sacrifices. It also could refer to salted and dried meat. This is, again, not a super common. It's generally because this, like, laba is in the lunar calendar. What is this? Nori? Like the, what do you say, like the agricultural calendar, that traditional calendar. There is some special dates in it, and then like this occasion on the 8th day of the 12th month, there's like traditional foods that are eaten then. So those are contexts in which you'd still use this, but it's in terms of cured meat, you got 腊肠, which are sausages, or 腊肉is like bacon. But here, 希腊 is Greece. Now, 希腊doesn't really sound like Greece in English. I'm not sure if it's meant to sound like. I haven't really looked into it. Sometimes they sound more like the word in the original. I actually don't know what that sounds like. But I don't think it sounds like that either. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But Shila is what Greece is called in Chinese. Su is a model or shape into form. So we're talking about sculptures. 像is resemble or be like. Could refer to a sculpture, statue, or portrait, which is a likeness, an image of a person. Could refer to appearance or looks, portraits and pictures. So 塑像, we're referring to the Greek sculptures, which many of them are preserved, and they are studied a lot, highly regarded for their technical mastery and their artistic beauty and all that. 希腊塑像. Next up, 最 is first, most, or best, or to the highest degree. 后 is the last, later, late, after, behind, or the back. Things that are to the end in a sequence. It also refers to the queen or the empress, the wife of a king or emperor or other ruler is called 后. Like 皇后 or 太后or those kind of things. 晚 is evening or night or late or old age. And 餐 is a meal or to eat food. 最后晚餐 then is the last supper. The painting, which I'm sure you're familiar with, by Da Vinci. Unless I'm wrong about that, which would be really embarrassing. Anyway, the next one is 创. 创 is to start doing something or do for the first time. And this is also, as part of the word, hold on. 创造, or 造 is make, build, fabricate, or formulate. 创造specifically means create. Because if you know, create means to make something out of nothing. So here we're talking about making something for the first time. 创造, like making something that has never been made before. 雅 refers to a second, inferior, or lower than. This is also the, wait, hold on. 雅 is used as a reference to Asia. 亚洲, or 洲, if you remember from last time or a few days ago. It means continent. 亚洲is Asia. Yeah, can also refer to things that are like second rate. 亚军, second place, the runner up. This is also used in other types of transliterations pretty frequently. Anytime you need a ya sound or a sound, pretty much. Like here, 亚得利亚. This is Adriatic Sea. 亚当 is Adam. 亚马逊 is Amazon. So we use that for sounds. 亚当 means equal or to turn towards and face. It means to work as or to serve as a certain purpose or role. Manage, take charge, or regard as. Ought to. 当然 is how you say of course. And 当, an alternate reading. 当 means it's like pawn in a pawn shop. Or appropriate or proper. Oh yeah, down here is Adam. I think I missed one. This one here, 创. Alternate reading of 创 is 创. This is 创口, is like a damage or wound or scar, injury or cut. So you'd use this in like 创伤 or 创口. 创口贴 is a band-aid, right? You apply it, you stick it on top of a wound or a cut. There you go. 创口, 创伤, 创痛. But 创造亚当, there. It's the creation of Adam. Creation of Adam, Michelangelo Buonarroti. We know him. This is Michelangelo. Painted the ceiling, the roof, the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. Creation of Adam from there. And so we got through those pretty quick. We can get a little head start on the next section. 人物. 人物 means character. Like you would call the characters in a book, like a work of fiction, you would call them. But here we're talking about like character traits that people may have. Tweet. Tweet means to push or to push forward, to recommend, infer or deduce. That would be like 推理, where 理 is logic, pushing logic. That's what we call that. 有问题吗? Okay. Can also mean to refuse or to overthrow. Like 推翻 would be you push and you turn over. Overthrow, like when you're executing a coup and taking over the government, that kind of thing. 贤. 贤 means virtuous or talented, fine and good. So usually you would say 推荐, 荐, which also means recommend. When you put these together, 推荐 is the word for recommendation. Like when you're applying for a job and you need recommendations, 推荐 would be what you say. Or you're like, oh, I want to go watch a movie. What's playing right now that's good? You ask your friends. 推荐 is a recommendation. 先 we talked about 才. This 才 means material. And you can also use this in, it's like 人才. If you're talking about 人才 with this 才, then you're talking about like human resources. People who have abilities that are useful to your enterprise. Whereas if you use 才, like the one in the other chapter, I know it's in this one too. If you use this one is also 才, but it doesn't have that wood on the side. So this is talking about talents and special gifts. So slightly different meaning. A little bit confusing. Here we're talking about recommending people who are fine and talented and virtuous. 读 means to see, watch, or observe. You can see on this side, this one is an eye. Over time, it's gotten abstracted into a rectangle, but originally it was more shaped like an eye. Kind of more round. If you look at it. Oh, that looks crazy. There you go. See this? It used to look totally... That looks like something else. Like an eye. It's just a drawing of an eye. And then it turned sideways. And then it got square. And now it's a box. Mal is a person's facial features or countenance, their expression, their outward appearance, their looks. If you want to emphasize the fact that it's outward appearance, you could say 外貌, where 外 is outer or outside. So 斗貌 or observing the outward appearance. 辩 is discriminate, distinguish, or argue. Promulgate. Now this is a fancy word. Promote or make widely known. 变 行 is to walk or go on a tour, go somewhere on your little vehicle, whether that's sailing a boat or driving a car, operating your vehicle. 行 also means to do or carry out or apply, like a plan or a other undertaking. 行. You also use this when you ask, like, is this okay? Can you do it? Yes, I can. You would say, 行吗? 行? Say like, yes. This is something that can be done. Let us execute accordingly. Got another reading, 行. This was used in the prior chapter. 行. The one about economics, because 银行 is used, 银行 is bank. It could also be a road, a line. If you look at this originally, the shape of this, it's crossroads, but over time it's become like less aligned. 行 is a trade, professional line of business. 行业 is how you would say that. But here it's 行. So we're talking about discerning someone's behaviors and actions. So when you're recommending good people for a job or position, you don't only want to look at their outer appearance, but you also want to look closely and discern what kinds of behaviors and actions that they're promoting. 觉 means awake or wake up, feel or sense, arouse, like arouse the senses, to discover or find out or sense. 觉. Got another reading, 叫. And this one is kind of funny because it means the opposite. 觉 is awake or wake up, and 叫 is sleeping or napping. Normally you see this in combination with 睡, which is the word for sleep. 睡觉, for going to sleep. That's one of those things where 睡 is the verb and 叫 is the noun. So you might hear someone say 睡个觉. They're sleeping asleep. Ooh means understand or awake. If you're saying that, it's more like woke, before woke got polluted by all kinds of other meanings. Comprehend completely. 觉悟. 先 is the first, former, or previous. 知 is to know, understand, or administer knowledge or consciousness. So 先知 would be the first one to understand. This is the word that's used for prophets, people who have prophetic visions and know things about the future before anyone else knows them. 先知. Where this 觉悟 refers to like enlightened ones. 圣, this is there isn't exactly a one-to-one translation of this concept, but it's more or less super wise and holy sacred sage masters who understand everything at a really high level and are super at peace with everything. Saints. They're not really exactly like saints, but that would be the closest approximation. So is a color or an expression, a look on the face, the material appearance of things. Could be like the landscape, the scenery, that would be called 景色, or the quality of something. Colors, 颜色, a lot of these sorts of things. We got another reading, 骰, and 骰 refers to dice, like when you roll dice, the 6-sided things with dots on them. Sometimes they have more sides. Dice are called 骰子, and that's also this character for some reason. Tong means to follow or comply with, to be engaged with, to join, or to accept or obey. Tong could be in a certain manner, according to a certain principle. It also means from or early on. So this is from is like from a certain point onwards, or once upon a time, or those kinds of phrases would use tong. Rong means to hold, contain, tolerate, permit, allow, admit, endure. Is also refers to capacity. So 容器, I believe. 容器 is a word for containers. Just in general, things, objects that hold other objects or materials. If you see these other things, tolerate, permit, allow, admit, endure, take in, these are all more abstract senses of holding capacity or unhurried. So 从容is a word, and we're describing the countenance of these 圣人, these like holy and enlightened people, as 从容, which means like they're easygoing and calm and unhurried, and they're so next level, they're so high up that nothing bothers them. 圣色从容. Chun means pure and simple, fine and good, sincere, great. Chun. So for pure, you can see like 纯净, or 净 is like peaceful and clean. 淳朴 is the word here. 朴, which means simple, natural, and plain. So 淳朴, pure and simple. We got other readings. 朴. 朴 is just a family name, a surname. If you see somebody with this name, it's not 朴, it's 朴. I think this is it the one? I don't know if it's the same one as park in Korean. It might be. Let me check. Because they did used to use Chinese characters. So 朴, the Korean surname, Park, used to be written like that. It's the same name. And 破 refers to a type of sword with a long blade and a short hilt. It's kind of a big sword. With a long Yeah. Not sure I can find a picture of that. But it's not that important. 淳朴 here is just pure and simple. Keep it pure and simple. 宽 means spacious, broad, and wide. It could mean lenient or loose, to relieve, or breadth with, pardon. These are kind of abstract extensions of this literal broad, wide spaciousness. 宽 厚 means thick. Thick could be like viscous, or it could be like has a high thickness as opposed to being thin. That doesn't explain anything. Like having the dimension of thickness compared to its width or its surface area. Rich and generous, honest and tolerant, sincere and kindly, deep, profound, wealth or favor. These are the meanings that we're talking about in terms of a person's character. If you say like a 厚道, you're talking about these. If you call someone's character thick, it means they're like really genuine and reliable, honest. 宽厚. So this 宽, in this context, we're talking about like merciful and generous, basically. 淳朴宽厚. And I'll go through this really quick. 侠. It says here knight errant, but 侠, this is also used for like superheroes. Spider-Man is 蜘蛛侠, you know. Or 武侠小说. Like those super powerful martial artists. Or like what do you call them? Vigilante justice. Those sorts of characters are called 侠. 烈 means raging or violent. It could also be staunch and upright, bright and strong, stern and severe. So these are kind of traits, basically just hardcore. 尽 is empty, exhaust, or finish, within the limits, to the greatest extent, to use up, do all you can to the point that you could die, to the end, completely exhaustive. Got another reading is 尽, and 尽 is referring to, you'd use like 尽管着做, would be like you to the ignoring everything else and just keep on doing something to the greatest extent. It's the first priority and you don't care about anything else. You'd use this 尽. 忠 is devoted, honest, and loyal. You pledge your allegiance and be loyal to the end. So this is 侠烈 is talking about these fierce fighters, 侠, and the undying loyalty, 尽忠. There you go. And we will stop there because it's time, and we'll pick up next time. This is pretty long, so probably get through maybe like half of it next time. Okay, see you then. Bye.